I have finally basically completed the most comprehensive reorganisation of my collection. Let's go through it in detail. Welcome to PS Too Many Games.
PS Too Many Games.
Welcome everyone to PS Too Many Games. Quite a long week it's been. Speaking like Yoda, I do.
What weapon does a fat Jedi use? A heavy saber.
Basically, long story short, over the last week I have basically completely reorganised the system and made it significantly easier not only for the present but for future me to sort things out. If you understand what I mean. I came up with a solution which was actually so simple, I just didn't understand why I didn't think about this about 3 years ago. Before I even started doing the actual YouTube channel for my actual collection back then. This system is simple yet effective. And for the really anal retentive out there, they might hate this system, but for me on a personal scale, this is so much more simpler. We'll get to that in a little while, but before we actually get into looking through the collection once again, we'll get to the last two episodes, which are both CX Roulette episodes. Positive comments for both. For those who are curious, yes, got full refunds for the 4 games that I did not decide to keep. Got the postage too, so that's obviously a result, like always. Speed Racer did keep. Very happy to have that, but my luck in that on those roulettes was diabolical. That's the worst luck I had for CX Roulette yet, and I am generally thinking about stop doing them. And what I say, doing them less, if you will. I have ordered more though, because once again, and I need to emphasise this, I'm only using CX because they've got the odd games I need, and the prices at CXs are cheaper than some on eBay. If I can get the same game for cheaper on eBay, I'll try eBay first. Trust me, sometimes you can get amazing luck on eBay. But now we get into the nitty gritty of the collection. I'm not going to be picks and chooses where I can find some of these games. I'm going to get them, and I'm going to hopefully find they're in good condition. I will say, on a personal level, me and Dave both felt that the last episode, which was as of yesterday, which would be the 8th of June, it's probably one of the better episodes we've done in some time. It's a rare episode where we both actually edited on the same episode. By that I mean one of us edited it, and then one of us did a little bit of tweaking afterwards, just to add more content. And I think it came out rather well. Some of the ideas Dave came up with that episode actually made me crack and laugh. Which it might sound stupid. When editing, I don't laugh that much anymore. When I watch Dave's stuff, I do, but it's when I'm editing myself, I don't laugh that much at some jokes.
Are you sure about that?
I was told by a fellow YouTuber who's far more popular than I am. A simple rule: if you laugh at it, Adam, someone else is going to. Which might sound silly out loud, but when you think about it, yeah, if I find something funny, someone else is going to find that funny. And hopefully the majority of people are going to find that funny. And if I don't find something funny at all, I'm going to assume most people won't find it funny either. That's the whole point of editing. I've been told I have a good sense of humour. I do laugh at myself a lot. By that I mean physically, while doing this. I mean, the amount of times I just laugh out loud after something I've said happens all the fucking time. Needed it then. So I'm generally considering this going down to one episode permanently, but if we both edit at the same time, we get a better quality of episode rather than more content. I know people say you've got to have YouTube, more content makes you grow faster, and I think it does. But I'm just here for the fun and the quality rather than the content at this point. Plus, it gives me more time to actually find things. So from now on, I'm going to try and aim for 2 episodes a week still. But if there's only 1 episode sometimes each week, don't expect 2 episodes every week now. It's just a case of what I can find. I will try for 2, but if there isn't any, I just want to do an episode. And if there is an episode on Thursdays, that means I've got nothing. I've got nothing to talk about. It's as simple as that. But I do like the working together with Dave now on editing. That is actually, it's giving me more vim and vigor for this again. And I was how can I put this? I was never getting to the point where I was getting bored of this, but I was getting to the point where it's like editing wasn't as fun as it used to be. But now I've gotten back to it as well. It's as fun as it has been in some time. So sometimes you need a bit of freshness to get you back into the groove. And the groove has been found, ladies and gentlemen. It has been found.
No! You threw off my groove!
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
So future plans. So I think I mentioned before, or I haven't mentioned at all. I have ordered about 12 games from Momax. What is Momax? Some people say Momax is an eBay site which is based in Germany. So it's basically a German company with eBay, and I get nearly all my European exclusive games from Momax. A lot of the cheaper ones, and in the past they have been hit and miss, which is expected from Momax. They've got a reputation of sending you things that you didn't actually want. But a lot of the European sport title games that you're not going to find over here, that's the best place I went. So basically, there's going to be an episode with 12 games in it. Not top quality games, but 12 games I need, and it will really help when I get them. A lot of them are from same kind of sports, and you'll see when they come up. But there are some different games, and the fact I can find 12 on eBay still to this for reasonable prices is actually rather good. Also, obviously, another CX Roulette will be coming up. Another 5 games have been ordered. If we can just beat 20% this time, that's progress. Oh my god. I decided when I do roulettes, I'm going to do 5 games at a time, reasonable prices, just to hit them out one by one kind of thing, because I'm now fully expecting to get failures each time I do CX Roulettes, because these are some of the games that are hard to find, obviously because I ain't got them yet. So I'm assuming whatever copies they've got, maybe 1 or 2 copies, aren't going to be in the best of quality. But we don't know until we get them. Simple as that. On a personal level, I've got a very strong hankering to go back to Doorway to Darkness in Doncaster. I mean, the gaming market with Doncaster is in less than 2 weeks, but I kind of forgot that was happening, and I won't be attending because it's short notice. I do have the Saturday off, though, so if I really want to go on real short notice, I can, but I think I haven't asked Dan yet, and that's extreme short notice. So that's probably not going to happen unless I somehow come into a lot of money in the next 2 weeks. Speaking of money, friend of the channel and good friend in person, Gamer Rarities, has put me aside a game which will actually become the most expensive game I've bought for this channel. How can I put this? The most expensive game I bought for this channel was Rule of Rose, and I got that at that point significantly below the price it was at that point. Since then it's come down, and so the value of that game, kind of thing. I think that's still above £200, but we are going to get a game pretty much equal in amount to between £200 and £300. Price is already been agreed, so that's fine. But this one really is an extremely rare game, to the point where CX never has it in stock. I've never seen a copy of it yet in person. And even Dan, it's not even the English version, but Gaming Rarities has basically told me it's incredibly hard to find the English version. And if you do find the English version, you're going to be paying well above the asking price you would at CEX. So, we're going to be going for this one, and it plays in English, I've been assured. So as long as it plays in English, I will be buying this game, but that will be nearly all the budget for this month gone! So, put that in mind, between the roulettes, CX, the Momax and this, the budget is pretty much has already been spent for the most of the entirety of June. Remember that. And my good friend Jonathan Neil Smith has 12 games put aside for me already, and that is going to cost me a fair bit. So I've already got things in progress, but it's when the money turns up and who I go to first, if you understand what I mean. But I will say one thing: the last month we haven't spent that much for the channel in the last month, so it's almost like I planned it ahead. I always plan ahead. Just remember that. I always plan ahead. Speaking of which, let's get to the actual point of this episode, the reorganisation of this room. I will film it every shelf. By the way, I have to bring some old shelving units in, which means one thing: the return of terrible shelves that sag little. All the built shelves we built for the background, they're new, but I had to bring 2 of the older ones back in just to fill out. I will explain in a bit. Anyway, I will see you on the other side of this commercial break. See you in 5. And we are back. Now, as you know, the list I currently use is always in the description of every episode and should be quite easily to access. Just click on it, you should get to it. Give or take, when you look at the number of how many games I own, that can be different from week to week, and sometimes I don't update it every week because sometimes I'll straight up forget. But the point is, I think roughly, supposedly, there is a roughly between, I think, just above 2,300 PS2 games I supposedly need to get. Take that in mind. So, what I basically did, because I've mentioned multiple times I have a lot of empty cases I use just in case, I basically took the list, put everything in order, alphabetically, and every game I don't have, where the game should be, I took an empty case, reversed it, and put it in the slot. So, for future use, when I actually get that game, all I've got to do is take the empty case out and slot my game in.
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Making it so much more easier to organise, you have no idea. By the way, organising all this, because I checked every game disc also, took me between 8 and 9 hours. Not in the same day, by the way. I couldn't do that in the same day. Fuck that. But this took me ages, and I literally just roughly gauged how much time I was taking. Mainly because I was checking every disc. And I will say one thing. The original count on my list has gone down, and that is mainly due to one of two reasons. One, there was about 6 or 7 games I thought I owned, which I do not. That's my fault. And the other one, there's a lot of games I bought in the first year of this collection, where back then I kept them. Now, through my higher standards of disc management and higher standards of what is a good disc and what isn't a good disc, there's about 20 games that I've decided to replace in my own time, which I will do in my own time and not show you, because these are games that I've had for ages. We're talking games like my version of Budokai, the original Dragon Ball Z Budokai. That was my version I had since I was a boy. That disc is awful. And I'm just going to replace it. Killzone, the original Killzone, that disc was awful. I'm going to replace that also. Things like that, I will do in my own time. You ain't got to see that. So I'm just taking off this. I've taken off the list right now. When I get them, I'll just put them back on the list. I think the list currently reads at 1830, give or take. So we're actually, that's 23 games. 23 games that I have taken off the list purely because I think I can get a better version of them. 23 games you've seen on the channel before. They will be replaced in my own time. And I put that list separately to myself, so I buy them in my own time and not bore you with the detail. Right. There was also a few games which I thought I did not own that I actually did own. Terrible vernacular. So it went both ways. But we are actually sitting at 1853. The numbers actually were shockingly accurate to a T. So my original counting in the past before I did that was actually correct. Smug moment. Smug moment. But as you'll see now, because we're going to go to handheld camera mode, I'm going to go through the game shortly. The shelves look different. I would like to go through every game I don't own, but that will take ages, and I don't think you've got the time either. I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Here we go. So as you can see, every blue case is a game I need in that order. So as you can see, if we just roughly go through certain games, there are gaps But there's always like 3 games here, full game run. But if you notice, there's still quite a few games because we've still got a few hundred games to find. And some of these games might be obvious, like the original Alternatico. I need that one, obviously, because that. But if you notice, there's never like a massive set of like 6, 7 games I'm missing. And then there's always runs where I've got everything in perfect actual order. And some of these games, remember, are just games that I'm going to replace in my own time because they're games that I thought I could do better on, which a bit common games in other words. But I've remembered that's Bob the Builder Festival of Fun. That's a game I need. By the way, you can tell the different colours because they're obviously different cases. A couple of Buzz games I still need. Oh, I need to drop the phone then. Bear with me a second. I am currently suffering with hay fever. I do take Pirites. Oh, I think that's how you pronounce it. But the hay fever today has been absolutely horrific and it's just not working. So if I sound a bit bunged, it's because I've got hay fever. I haven't got a cold. It's just a pain in the arse, you understand what I mean? Good lord. By the way, a couple of these games are missing because I'm currently playing through them. Oh, God, my bloody knees. Oh, good lord. Old grey man, I'm not what I used to be. Oh, good lord. Those games over there, I believe, are either dance games. I can't remember. I think they're Disney related. Oh, no, they're the DJ games. DJ Decks. There's like 6 different versions of that I need to find. That's going to be a piss to find, I tell you now. As you can see, like ESPN games, there's a lot of ESPN games I need to find. That's probably going to be going to like Germany to look for them. Shocking amount of iToy games I need, by the way. All the FIFAs, obviously. FIFA 2001 is a game where I can do better. Disc is awful. That kind of stuff, you understand what I mean? It's the weird things, like I've got Forbidden Siren 2, but not the original. The original's far cheaper than the sequel. Stuff like that, when you look it through, it's like, how have I missed that? How is that not part of the collection? Gaelic games there. I think there's fewer Gaelic games I need. But as you can see, there are some shelves where we're nearly like got a perfect shelf where I've never got to like file anything on that shelf again. But then there's certain shelves where I'm missing quite a few. And it sounds ridiculous. There are some seriously rare games, obviously. When we get to M, obviously, Monster Eggs is going to be the one game that's going to really annoy me. By the way, I'm putting my my steel backs and my special editions there temporarily. Till I find a better shelf. The Hugo games, by the way, I think I'm missing 3 of the 4. I'm trying to remember what the international game I'm missing, but you can roughly gauge. 3 in a row. What the hell are they off memory? I can't remember. Another 3 in a row. There's certain letters that you really think I'll get close to. I've got to super glue that again. God damn it. That's such a hard thing to find. The Maximum Impact, like big box edition. You understand what I mean? There's certain like letters where I'm nearly finished. Like the M is not even close, by the way. M is like the second biggest letter behind S. By the way, it's at this point when I'm starting to run out of like actual blue box PS2 cases. I had to use like PC cases. Hence why the Rome one's the wrong way around for some reason. Oh, good lord. Just put it in context, it has taken me nearly 6 years to get this far. 6 years of trying to search for games. Obviously, the first 3 or 4 years doing it in my spare time. The last 2 years really going hard at it. Since the start of this channel, I think we were in the 1100s. In the last 2 years, we've found 700 PS2 games. By the way, yeah, another case that should be the wrong way around. That's Liam's DVD. He was hilarious as fuck back in the day. Still is, to be honest.
You wouldn't have some bloke on the Titanic warning the captain by playing football, would you? There's an iceberg coming. Fucking huge, apparently.
The sad state of truth is Lee Evans. There's a lot less like comedy programs on television for many different reasons. BBC wanted to make everyone happy, and when you try to make everyone happy, you make no one happy. This is where I really started to run out of anything, so I was using box sets as gaps of games where I need to belong. I was getting desperate because I wanted to actually finish the collection. Because I don't want to do this ever again. And as you can see, I used to watch a lot of wrestling things. There's all these box sets, like, I've got to find something I can put in the gaps right now. You have no idea at this point how hard I was panicking, because I was like, I went through hundreds of PS2 cases right now. And I was like, I thought I had more than this, but I didn't. Soul Divide. My hand is actually starting to hurt from the constant like moving of left to right in the case, because I've got such a grip on the phone. You have no idea. At this point, I was really struggling to find anything I could put as a divider for games I needed. And it's at this point where it's like, if I can get through T, that'll do me. And we did get through T, but everything after U, it's not been properly filed yet, but everything after U, there's not that many games, and it might sound stupid, I can basically do that off memory. You understand what I mean? T was the last big collection, then U came up, and then I got to this point, it was like, I've run out of dividers. So here's the rest of the games I have not sorted through yet, but obviously there isn't that many left. There really isn't. And these are not in perfect alphabetical order. By the way, if you see like a game that doesn't read alphabetically correctly, that's because on the actual cover itself, it does. How can I explain that? For instance, this one is supposed to be 007 Quantum of Solace. But it's like James Bond, Quantum of Solace kind of thing, but it's 007, so that goes here. Whereas, the James Bond games are all over here, because on the spine, and actually the game themselves, where they were James Bond 007. Might sound stupid, but it's really anal retentive, but that's the way it reads on the list, so. While we're here, I might as well just go through, obviously, the boxes I've got. Boxed PS2s down there. Obviously, the boxed things. That's pretty much what I've got at the moment. Nothing special, because I still need to find room for the platinums. Because I did promise I'm going to build above this. And I will. If I get to a point where one of these units are empty for my platinums, pretty much that one in the middle there, then I will be very happy. By the way, you can tell I've been... I need my coffee while I'm doing the building. Trust me, when I'm building stuff and there's no games there, so I'm not going to spill anything on the coffee. So for those who've never seen the full collection before, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you understand why it looks a bit like so many blue cases over there. It's just to make my filing so much more easier in the future. And it also proves that I can get all 2300 games plus in this room, no issue, with more building potential to come. So, when I stew!
Back away, not today, disco lady.
When I do start collecting the second collection, which I don't know when I'm going to start doing that, by the way, I ain't got a clue, I can move things across and do it. If I stack high enough, I wonder if I can get one side of the room all PS2 and the other side for the second collection. Bearing in mind the second collection is going to be smaller because the PS2 library is, I think, the biggest PAL library ever for games. I could be wrong, but probably am correct. I sound so terrible saying it that way. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Every time I reorganise this, it gets better little by little by little. Now is the best it's going to probably be, because I haven't got reorganised this ever again, and you have no idea how much helpful that is. I will say, for the first time, putting all the expensive games in actual order, not in a special shelf, took like the special away from them, or the expensive, but the whole point is that they're all equally as good as each other, apparently. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just going to roll with it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please comment, subscribe. I am hoping, depending on when the Momax games turn up, there will be an episode. There will be 2 episodes this week, but if there's only one, the reason is the games didn't turn up in time. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.